up no solid plan. Skins a yarn, or cans a tale. The esoteric approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common Man, Common Man. Charms the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing what a sophisticated offensive game plan looks like. You talk about...
Every game is big in my mind, regardless of when we play it. Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night, Tuesday night. You know, every game is big, and, you know, especially where we're at right now, you know, from here on out, every game is a big game. So that's the way we approach it. And, you know, week in and week out is a big game.
Value Bet.
How about a beer?
I'm going to make him an offer again.
Placement, the kick. It is no good. Shot. It missed wide to the left. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anderson's last field goal miss, the 15th of December, 1997, against Denver. What are you doing?
We can't start winning until we stop losing.
Boy, how disappointing is that?
And Peyton Manning takes the knee for the third straight time, and that should do it, folks. The final score of Super Bowl 41, the Colts 29, the Bears 17, and look at the pandemonium from the Indianapolis sideline down here in Miami. Colts spilling onto the field. Oh, and there we go, the Gatorade bath for Coach Tony Dungy, and it's Mike Doss applying the Gatorade bath. Good to hear from Mike Doss tonight as the Colts are your Super Bowl 41 champions.
I always love that.
He's the clown from Brown. He's the fourth in the north. This is the Common Man, Dan Cole.
Common Man program, for what it's worth, take it or leave it, it's the host is unprepared, uninformed, unprofessional, unapologetic, and on this and on that, the Uncola. He's 10 to be. We're here till 3. Worst all sports radio station in the country, so says a former employee who funny was fired from here. I'm a radio dinosaur. KFAN's my La Brea Tar Pit. This is where it'll all end for me. I ain't going anywhere unless someone makes me an offer that I can't refuse. I don't expect that to happen anytime soon. I mean, been waiting for that offer for about 35 years now. I interviewed with KSTP before and with WCCO while I was working here under the cover of darkness. I wore one of those Groucho Marx disguises. You know, back in the day when you'd interview for KSTP. Ted, do you ever go and interview for KSTP? They ever inquire about your services?
I can't say.
Hold on. I mean, I'm going to give you a rush up, and maybe they did. I don't know. I figured out what they were doing. They were just trying to get intel from me. They had no intentions of.
Yeah.
They were hoping that I would, give them more than name, rank, and serial number and tell them what our strategy was.
We've had that happen with local sports teams.
Yeah.
In town where they talk with us about, hey, partnership with you guys. What would you do if we had our team on your radio station? Yeah. Then they don't accept our offer, and then they use all of our stuff that we just...
Yeah, that's been done. I don't think there really is an original thought. I've had a couple. but most of them I can't repeat on the air. But they would always interview, at least the 2 times I did, it was a place called The Egg and I. You ever hear about it? The Egg and I. It's some kind of a coffee shop restaurant over off of University, right by KSTP's headquarters. And then we just leave, well, don't call us, we'll call you. And I'd leave and I'd say, well, why did you even bother to have me while you were trying to get information? Then WCCO, this is weird. This is like, at the time, right now I'm the fastest rising talk show host in the country and have been for about 30 years now. And at the time, I had only had my show for, a year. And CCO came poking around, right? And I don't even remember who the PD was now, but he has me coming in. He meets me there's some kind of a, I don't remember the name. It was like a Keys Bakery, but it wasn't Keys Bakery.
Keys is so good.
It was some type of a restaurant, one of those types of restaurants. Not,
cafe types?
Yeah, not like Ocean Air, but yeah. And so we went there, we met, one morning, and the job was going to be like 10 at night to 1 o'clock in the morning. And then from 1 until 5, I was going to have to help whoever's doing 1 to 5, dig up information or sidekick or something. And I'm like, the offer was for more than I was being paid here. But I was like, well, I kind of like just doing 6 to 9 at night. I'm doing the Chad and Barrero show too, so it would have been a similar hours. But I'd rather do 2 to 9, 2 in the afternoon until 9 at night than do 10 in the morning till 10 at night till 5 o'clock in the morning. And I think I made the right choice because my guess is...
Look at you now. Look at you now.
And I wouldn't have fit in there, really, I don't think. Because that was in the day when we didn't... Sports is your whole life, just sports. We don't care that much about sports, and you're not going to get us to change. And so those were the days, my friends, we thought they would never end. And so anyway, but... I've been waiting for that call that's going to change my life. I don't think they have the right phone number because I've just never gotten that call. I've been waiting for it. It's like I mentioned yesterday, Waiting for a Girl Like You. And it's just not you telling me, I just mean that song by Foreigner, Waiting for a Girl Like You and to come into my life. Well, she did a long time ago. I married my wife, Potato. My second wife, I don't know. She hasn't been born yet, so I'm not exactly sure.
Could you do a little Foreigner on your next vibe read?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a big, I want to know what love is, if you can get up that high. It's a great song.
I have 2 now. I had 1. That's what I forgot about. So as the open's playing, I'm frantically thinking of what songs I can use. Because I don't oftentimes when I'm caught off guard, I just go back to the old standards, that I do all the time,
Operator.
Yeah. Help me, places calling. It's time I move on. Anyway, when you're playing when you're mashing the button bar, I like the old football highlights. Deuce might be doing some. Last year he was working for Game Time Minnesota MN, where he was doing streaming. He would do the play-by-play. One camera guy with him, camera gal, camera guy, and then he would do the play-by-play for soccer, hockey, and volleyball and lacrosse, and he really likes hockey. That's what he is. He listens to LaPanta. I told LaPanta that one day. I ran into him. I said, my boy listens to you all the time and really tries to pattern his play-by-play after you're looking for tips and such like that. Deuce might be doing some football this year, and he's not done any. And immediately, I just love it like father, like son. We're on the same wavelength. He is going to figure a way to work in this is what a sophisticated offense looks like, and then he's going to scream out the offensive coordinator's name for whatever high school he's calling. He's also going to go, welcome back to the spotlight, young man. He's going to use, he's loose, so he's going to steal from PA. And
if they have
it's just for our entertainment. You know how it is. I mean, we do things we do just for our own entertainment. It's just to amuse ourselves.
Yeah, could he also do one where, let's say it's like a backdoor pass one-timer?
Yeah.
He said, that was a cold-blooded connection.
Yes, do that, yeah. And this is just for our own amusement. He's not really stealing PA's material. And he's not really mocking him either, but he's kind of, sort of, not really. We're just having fun with some of the classics. And then how we can do this, he's going to say, he's got to be careful of what high school. He rips, this isn't, Schenectady High. This is for the SEC champion, the Southwest Suburban Conference Championship. It's in Detroit, man. This is for the Super Bowl. So he's going to try to work those in, and I'll be looking. The only reason I'll be listening to the game waiting for how he's able to just wedge one of those in there just out of nowhere. Some of the all-time classics. Like, for instance, let's say there's an interception. No! He's just going to start going.
I always love that one.
And he plays rec soccer now. Every night when he comes home, the first thing I said, did you get yellowed? Because I'm waiting for him to get yellowed or redded, or he scored a couple of goals.
Wow, good for him.
Yeah. Team's okay. He plays for a couple of different teams, but and then I want him to flop. He says he hasn't flopped yet. Isn't that what soccer's all about? I mean, until you flopped, you really haven't played soccer, I don't think. You have to flop.
Can you flop in men's league, though?
Well, you can. I mean, yeah, it's probably...
It's kind of like there's like an unwritten rule in like men's league, beer league hockey. Like, we're not doing dump and chase.
Oh, really?
Like we're here to like make plays.
Okay. I didn't
cross the blue line and try to make a play. You're not dumping the puck into the corner.
Okay.
And I think in soccer, you'd have if you're diving, like you might actually get like beat up by somebody.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe you should avoid that then. Because it just seems to me that's what you... If you did it in a really over-the-top, bad acting, do you think the other people would just get a kick out of it, knowing that you're actually making fun of it? You know what I'm saying?
Well, if if you exaggerate it so much.
Yeah, you're flopping on like you're a fish out of the water, just flopping like you're having a grand mal seizure. Maybe they would get a kick out of it. But anyway, there is plenty. A program password today.
Yes.
Ryan Carter and Jonas Plum, they both work for the Wild. One behind the scenes, one in front of the scenes. Carter's doing analysis. He's one of us. Played for White Bear. Played all over. He sipped from the silver cup. Actually, the Stanley Cup. And then Jonas Plum. He has the job you covet. He is the
Minnesota he did a really good job this year.
He's the Minnesota Wild video coordinator. The job you've always wanted.
Yeah.
The job
I've been waiting for him to move on to bigger and better things, so I can just slide right in.
You've been waiting for a job like his. That's Foreigner for you. We'll take a break. We'll talk a little of this. How about the Twins? When Rosen had written them off, he was so bitter yesterday. Oh, he was like, one hit. If it wouldn't have been for one hit on Friday in the bottom of the ninth, or whatever day it was, we would have got swept in this series. He was all done with the club, thought the game was over, and I told him, I said, it ain't over till it's over. There's a reason there's 27 outs. And they won on a and you know what that grand, well, we'll talk about it later. Let's take a break. We'll come back, peek at the purple or right around the corner. It's Tenna and Common on the Fan.
Yeah, the Fan and BigDeck.com want to give a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Just enter the keyword fun at KFAN.com now for a shot of winning. That keyword is fun. Enter now at KFAN.com.
Another epic episode of Program Password begins today at 1:30. And you can watch.
This is also on YouTube. Check out the KFAN YouTube channel for exclusive videos, in-depth takes, initials, and password games, and behind-the-scenes content. Search KFAN on YouTube and hit subscribe today. And actually, I think as of today, we have 30,000 subscribers to our KFAN YouTube channel. So thanks to all the rubes out there.
Rubing it up with the Fan. We do appreciate that.
Let's get to 40,000.
Why stop there?
Yeah. Because you can watch initials anytime you want on there.
The power chip is always there. Yoga Fans Press are so funny. I just can't get enough of them. So, Jeremy Zoll, general manager of the Wolves, I'll get it straight. Twins, 2 or 3 days ago, said, we're buyers. We're going to help the bullpen. And then after they lost to Kansas City, needed a 2-out, 2-run triple off the wall by Royce Lewis to salvage another game in which they were doing nothing. And then they're behind last night, or yesterday afternoon. We were tracking the game here on the Fan. They're down 3-0. Rosie wrote them off, said it was over. I tried to tell him there's a reason they play 9 innings. It ain't over till it's over. And lo and behold, 2 outs. They're down to their last out. Twins get a hit batter. Lewis gets a single. Somebody gets a walk. Or maybe the walk came before the hit batter. Either way, they load the bases on an 0-2 pitch.
The walk was the third one, and they were 0-2, and that was Bell.
Yeah.
They were 0-2 in that count.
Okay. And then
drew the walk.
And then Clemens. That's Raj's son, right?
Yes.
He hits an 0-2 pitch, so they're down to their last strike, for crying out loud. And he knocks it over the fence, and Twins win. And you know, I was thinking about this, Tennessee. Zoll basically said we're buyers. Had they lost yesterday's game, say they don't have the heroics like that, they got no hit for 7 innings. Their hitting now has suddenly gone in the tank.
Well, it's because Buxton's hurt.
And it's just, baseball, it's a what, it's not a what. It's a marathon.
It's a marathon.
And not a sprint. And so you're always going to have ebbs and flows, unless you're the Dodgers. You have ebbs and flows in your baseball season. But you're wondering if they're sitting up there in the ownership booth of the general manager suite, and you're going, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We're terrible. We're not going anywhere. Do we really want to trade prospects? We told the fans we would. We know it's probably the best thing to do, but this really, we got no chance. Then you get the grand slam, and you go, hey, all right, this is going to work out great. And sure enough, they make a move. They traded for A.J. Minter for the Metropolitans. You talk about it, if you're a fan base and if you're an ownership group there, they have the highest payroll in baseball and they have one of the worst teams in baseball. They're going nowhere. Now they're doing the fire sale. Minter's a 32-year-old left-hander. I'm reading from Bobby Nightingale's piece, Fish Wrap Factory West Side. Thanks for Bobby for doing my homework for me. I appreciate that. Minter's a 32-year-old lefty, had a 2.35 ERA over 23 appearances this season with 20 strikeouts and 2 walks in 23 innings. He will be a free agent following the season. And this is something the Twins have rarely ever done when they have acquired somebody. I don't think they like having a guy that's a free agent after the season.
No.
They've always avoided that. Not here. The Twins, who are picking up Minter's remaining $3.5 million salary, sent minor leaguers Billy Amick and Bruin Abiani to the Mets. Minter is in the second year of a 2-year, $22 million contract he signed in January 2025. He's expected to join the Twins in Seattle tomorrow. Cole Sands, who underwent season-ending arthroscopic elbow surgery, was transferred to the 60-day injured list to make room on the 40-man roster. Minter, this is the one thing that this would make you go. Minter's velocity is down from previous seasons, and he has compiled the lowest strikeout rate of his career. But he should become a top lefty option in the Twins bullpen, which has featured Taylor Rogers, Cody Funderburk, and rookie Kendry Rojas. The Twins already lost Banda to season-ending surgery. The rest of Minter's bio, a standout at Texas A&M before being taken in the second round by Atlanta. He's pitched in the majors for 10 years. He won a ship with the Braves in 2021. He appeared in 3 games. As mentioned, he's in the second season of a 2-year deal. And if you're wondering about the Twins prospects, Bobby writes, Baseball America did not rank Amick or Agbayani among its top 30 prospects in the Twins farm system. That's the move. I thought I read somewhere that his last few outings, Minter hasn't been quite as good, but that doesn't mean that he's not any good. I mean, it's, as we just said, we have ebbs and flows in the seasons. So the Twins kept their word and said, we are going to improve the bullpen. I don't know if that's the only move they're going to make. Oh, and by the way, that flies to the other thing. Remember when Roden said this the other day? It was on Wednesday. I said, maybe the Twins will make a move soon. Oh, they won't make a move until the trade deadline day. He always says that.
He does.
He just goes with the standard
conventional wisdom.
Because most teams do wait until then, but it's not always. There are teams, and not only that, we made 3 trades already, or at least 1 for sure. I don't know if the other ones were just acquisitions off of waiver wires, but we traded for that Nance character. That was well before the trade deadline. And so the Twins did just that. And so they still have a number of days. They have all day today, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, regardless of what day they make the trade deadline. And maybe they will continue to improve. Wouldn't it be nice to maybe get another bat in the lineup, though, because of the Buxton injury, but you got to just keep your fingers crossed and hope he comes back, because this team hitting really hasn't been the problem. Lately, last few, 3, 4, 6, 7 games, they've not hit the ball as well, but that really hasn't been their problem. It's really been their bullpen, and then their starting staff is a little thin as well. But all in all,
at this point, you got to just believe this Buxton thing is just going to be nagging all season, right?
That's what I'm concerned with. Yep.
I mean, how many times now is he? I don't know the exact word. I don't want to say re-aggravated, but just issues with that hip over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Here's what it said about Clemens' home run. There was, I think this is it. I wonder which story I saw it in. Because it's very, well, now I can't find it. I could have swore it was in this story. Did you see all the numbers? Like, it's more rare than...
Like a perfect game.
Than a perfect game.
Yeah.
Where with 2 outs in your last at-bat, you hit a grand slam to win a game. And I think he even included on an 0-2 count there. I read it somewhere. I just don't remember exactly. Oh, here it is. This is from Do Young Park, he must be some influencer. He's a baseball.
He's a writer.
Writer, okay.
He's actually played on the Initials before.
Yeah, the Initials game.
He's played the real Jeopardy game twice.
Oh, really?
Apparently he's just like a genius.
Insane in Minnesota. Cody Clemens with what we call the ultimate grand slam, a walk-off grand slam with his team down by 3. Only the 15th ultimate grand slam ever with 2 outs, more rare than a perfect game. There's been 24 of those. Only the 34th at all in known MLB history, and first by Minnesota Twins. That's pretty cool we talked yesterday, Tenneby, about pitchers being lifted while still having a no-hitter, because Cameron had pitched 7 innings of no-hit ball, and they didn't lift him because he'd only had like 70-some pitches. But we've seen a couple times already this year, and there was a couple of national stories about it, how it's just not as big a deal anymore, and that managers and teams are more concerned about the health of a pitcher, not having him pitch too deep into games so that he strains the arm or gets some kind of an injury, and they're more interested in winning. And if a guy looks like, maybe even though he has a no-hitter, maybe, that last inning, a couple of long outs, right? Maybe it's a close game. We got to make sure we save this game. He's tired now. And if we keep him in there, not only is there a chance he'll lose his no-hitter, he may lose us the game. But so we were talking about how guys still want to do that. You want to accomplish things that only a few people have in major. Now, no hitters, there's 300 plus in Major League history. But look at how rare this is. So Cody Clemens could say, I have an ultimate grand slam. Absolutely.
It's so rare that I had never heard of the term ultimate grand slam. Yesterday was the first time I'd ever even knew that was a thing.
That is correct. And so,
is there a penultimate grand slam?
That'd be one with if there's just 1 out.
Okay.
Or if you were down 2 runs.
Got it.
I guess. Now, I want to be careful how I say this, because I don't want people to say, nothing ever makes you happy. Because I'm delighted that the Twins are buyers. But like we talked about the last couple of weeks, Tenneby, in the grand scheme, I know we've had, Miracle on Ice, right? We talked about all the miracle seasons yesterday. We talked about Bad News Bears. We talked about Kurt Warner taking a 4-12 team and winning the big game. We talked about the amazing Mets, even the Minnesota Twins. They went from worst to first in 1991. And even though those things do happen, the chances, I think, of the Twins winning the World Series are probably pretty slim. It could happen, and I'm hoping they do. And I'm glad they're at least... We're in the mix. Go ahead. That's why you play baseball, to try to get to postseason play and have that chip in a chair and a chance. But even the going through all this is probably not going to work out. But they didn't give up a couple of... Now, both of those prospects may end up being Hall of Famers. I mean, the chances of that are slim, too. But they could both be competent players, and you'll look back on something and go, why did we do that? But I would still rather them make the effort. I like that. And as we've talked about more, I think more than anything, the reason the Twins are doing this is because they made that commitment to do it. I was looking for that quote, and I knew I saved it. The one from Tom Pohlad. And okay, now it's going to take me a second. So maybe you either play the music or you just say something about something, ask me a question. Here it is. This was back in February. When there's a window for us to be really competitive and compete in the playoffs, we've got to be willing to put our chips on the table, so to speak, and go all in. In the past, whether it's the trade deadline in 2023 or, of course, the offseason after 2023, remember when they were going to right-size the payroll?
Yeah.
We haven't made those moves, and we can't do that going forward. And that's what he said back in February. And now I don't know if this is considered going all in, but at least it's going partway in. It's not like saying, we're only a 500 ball club. You can't win them all. Of course, in the Twins case, they can only win half of them. But you don't just say, well, you know what? It's just unrealistic for us, and we don't want to give up those prospects, and we're going to build for next year, because then you just, again, anybody that might be interested saying, hey, let's go down to the ballpark. We got a big series with Cleveland, or when the White Sox come to town. I'm sure they're coming to town late in the year. But if your team has just run up the white flag, you just go, well, I'm not interested in that. So some of it, too, is money related. You trade for this guy. You might sell more tickets down the line, especially if the team continues to win. But I just like the idea that we're actually playing. You're supposed to be playing to try to win the game, right? And I like that at least with this trade, it indicates that they're at least giving it the old minor league try, if not the major league try.
In the past, they've always chosen cash over conquering.
Oh, I like that. Did you just come up with that?
I was trying to come up with an F for finances. Oh. I wanted to stick with your F theme, but I couldn't think of a...
Well, it used to be finances are failing, and they would do the both.
Yeah. But now I think hopefully they understand the fan base is not going to put up with cash before conquest anymore.
No, they're not. I couldn't agree with you more.
And if you conquest, then you'll get some cash anyway in return.
That's it. Yeah. We've talked about that. Remember, go back to 87 and 91. Now, my guess, early in the year, stadiums were half empty at the Metrodome, right? No, it's like, just your normal teams not there. No one was expecting anything from the 87 team. And by the time, the excitement of 87, because then 88, remember, was like we were off to a great start again. And then they point to it. Was the guy's name Ryan Fox? Is it the same name as the golfer, that just a different guy, but the same guy that there was a grand slam by the Oakland Athletics when the Twins were like 12, 15 games over 500. And people point to that as that was when it all started falling apart for the Twins. And they spiraled out of control in 88, and then they were terrible in 89. Obviously, they were awful in 90. They had the worst record in certainly a division, maybe in the American League, maybe in all of baseball. Then they went first. So people weren't going to the ballpark. But guess what, 10B, when those teams were in the stretch run, boy, guess what? People started buying tickets. And then, when you buy tickets, you got to park. You got to buy hot dogs, day-old ones even. Then you got to buy popcorn, peanuts, and Cracker Jack, and then
you get some home games in the playoffs.
Yeah, then you get home, and then
the following year they're like, "Hey, I really like this club. Let's go out and support them again."
Because I guarantee you, in 88 and in 92, the stands were full.
Yes,
we got the defending world champs. So it's and it's hard to do that every year, because how often do you contend? And then when you do, the following year, repeating is one of the hardest things to do in any sport. Look at NBA with the way it is. There hasn't been a repeat champion. Was it the last 8 years? The last 8 years they've had a different champion. How about in hockey? Did they repeat often? I know didn't Florida win it?
Florida just did a couple years until this past season.
And they did was it a repeat too?
Yes.
Was it back-to-back seasons? A baseball, I don't know. I guess the Dodgers will probably do it this year, right? I mean, they're so good, but they don't have a salary cap league. They don't. So and when you spend the kind of money they do, they can put a superior product out on the field, at least on paper. And generally those on paper teams are pretty good. And then I'm assuming in Major League Baseball, we haven't had a lot of, in the NFL, how many repeats do we get there? That's very rare also. That doesn't happen. Did the Broncos repeat decade or two ago?
Back in the 90s.
Yes, in the 90s. It just doesn't happen. It's hard for teams.
The Patriots never repeat with all their wins?
They may have. They may have. I don't know. I don't have those numbers in front of me. But, and what they do next remains to be seen. I don't know if the Twins will make another move. I anticipate them to do something. As long as you're doing this, and you're picking up the remainder of the guy's was it a $3.2 million deal or 3.5, the Minter guy, AJ Minter?
Kansas City repeated just a couple years ago in football.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. So the AJ Minter guy they're picking up the remainder of his $3.2 or $3.5 million salary. So let's say that's half of it, half a season. So you're little under $200 million or $2 million, 1.7 or whatever. Well, again, that's what the Vikings are paying Kyler Murray. So you got that. So the Twins can afford now to say, let's go, hey, why don't we trade a couple of other? We're told we're flush in our minor league system. And you don't have to give away. You're going to have to give away your best prospects if you're going after the best relievers in baseball or the best hitters in baseball or the best starting. If you're trying to get Skubal, which apparently the Dodgers are going to get him. And they need him, Tennessee, because the Dodgers really don't have a very deep roster or pitching
would he
staff.
even really be a good fit there? With all the other starting pitchers they have?
That's a good point. He might not be a good fit. But you don't have to give up your best prospects to get a quality reliever. And you know what? And again, I know our standards have been lowered in Minnesota.
By the way, the Twins are picking up the prorated portion of like $11 million contract. So that's 3.5. The Twins are picking up all of that.
They really have changed. They've changed. That's because they would never.
Because we're 2/3 of the way through the season now.
Yeah. Okay. So, So you're right. It was a $22 million contract. So that would be $11 million per season. So there you go. We're getting the prorated deal. So we're paying it, but that's okay. That's what we should do. And I would assume, I'm hoping anyway, that another reliever because our starting staff is hurting now as well, right? We're thin there. We have Ryan, but he's been struggling. He had arm fatigue, so you wonder what that means. But let's just say he's fine. Then we've got
Taj,
and then Prelip.
Ober.
I'd like to add one more to that. It'd be nice
Zebby.
to get... Zebby. I'd be nice to add another frontline starter, but I don't expect that to do so. And you know what, Tennessee? I guess should just be happy. Don't start complaining yet. They actually made a trade for a guy that looks like he's pretty good.
But yeah, the Twins historically, when they've added the trade deadline, it's very minor additions.
Yeah. And this guy at least seems like he... I saw a little highlight package. Did you see how the way he was chewing his gum?
Chewing it confidently?
Confidently. And if you're chewing your gum confidently, then you're my kind of guy. So there you go. Let's do this. Now we get into the meat of the show today. Lil B joins us next. Feminine Touch of the program for a couple of segments. And then Ryan Carter and Jonas Plum, he's the video coordinator for the Wild. They will join us for Program Password. All of that and so much more on the Canada program on the Fan.
Lil B joins Common next on the Fan.
The Fan. From the 1-800-ASK-GARY Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Northern.
Bonus box is back on KFAN. We have 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday. That's every hour from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. To enter the keywords and learn more, head to KFAN.com. Bonus Box is presented by BigDeck.com.
guys, Genoa. I think that's the name of our security system for unlocking. Everything's on your phone now. Everything. And I understand. Look, I love it. Your handheld computer, which doubles as a communication device. I mean, I can book tea times. I can get the weather forecast. I can text and talk with people more than most people know. Play Wordle. Took me all 6 yesterday. How did you do on Wordle yesterday?
I don't remember, but it didn't take me 6.
Flume, F-L-U-M-E. I had never, and then my wife reminded me, I knew I'd heard the word. I didn't even think it was a real word. It's the name of a ride, I think, out at Mall of America or out at...
it used to be at Valley Fair, but it's not out there anymore.
Yeah. So when I spelled fluke, you ever do this when you're playing Wordle and you think you've got it and you watch the green letters go ding, ding, and then one's not, and I was literally stunned. Well, it's got to be fluke. This is a fluke. It can't not be fluke. And then it was flume. So I can play Wordle. I remember when texting first came out, I just despised it. I thought it's like 13-year-old girls in class passing notes. Tenneby, when you send a message back and forth, you can, there's a function that allows you to see if someone's read yours, and then they can see if you read theirs.
I don't do that, no.
Say, because you don't want to know if people read. So to me, that's like, well, you're basically saying, I'm a little leery. I don't want you to know if I've read it yet, because I might want to take some time on my response. I don't like people that, I don't dislike the people, but I like people that I'm willing to acknowledge right away. I read your text. I read it. And if I didn't get back to you right away, it's because I didn't have anything to say at that moment. But I like when people can see. But there's that function. There's Wikipedia. I spend hundreds of hours. But I don't. Why does the key? And because it doesn't work. And I asked Nordo. I said, am I the only person that I can stand at that door and put put my phone in front of it and it won't open? He goes, no, it happens to everybody.
Today I couldn't get in.
Yeah.
And Jared happened to be walking by, like I was out there for like 2 minutes. It was right before the show. I thought I wasn't gonna be able to make it in here in time.
Yeah.
And Jared just happened to be walking by, and apparently he doesn't need a phone. He's got just a card to get in.
You know what he told me? He goes, don't say anything. It's engineering. Because he's higher on the food chain than we are. He's higher on the phylum.
Why can't we all have cards? That's what we had before.
Tenneby, we are not high enough on the food chain. Plus, we probably got some deal we've cut with everything is so complicated. Everything is deal making. Probably something through iHeart. We got this, they get that.
I assume there was some sort of tracking involved.
Maybe that's what it is too. Well, but here's the frightening part: is when it doesn't work, you wonder, am I being fired? Is it they don't want to allow me until they're there to let me in and then escort me out? And then, especially after that first segment, it didn't work. I go, well, that's what's happening. They listened to the first segment today, and I left, and they said, that's it, we're done. We can't go. Talking about his boy doing football and making fun of PA, we're out. And I thought I'd been fired. One
of these days on a weekend when there's not many people around, someone's going to get stuck, and we're just going to have like dead air on here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So,
I'm concerned with the Vikings broadcast. There's a lot of times where I'm the only person here, and if I get stuck out there,
yeah.
Because sometimes the app doesn't work. At some point, the Wi-Fi is not going to be working, and you can't get in without the Wi-Fi.
Are you leaving?
It's going to happen.
To use the restroom?
I'm here for like 8 hours during Vikings broadcast.
Here's what I would do. I'd bring in a styrofoam cup.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Well, just in case you're an emergency. No!
The emergency is going to be I can't get back in here to run the board. That's the emergency.
If you use a styrofoam cup, you wouldn't have to worry. Maybe they should bring a porta potty in here during Viking Sunday.
Speaking of Vikings, peek at the purples. Brought to you by.
Yes, it is. It's brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. And, with Affordable Electric, storms. Now, I don't even consider this a storm. I didn't see any lightning. How good was it to get some rain?
Oh, much needed.
It was much needed. But if a storm does roll through your neighborhood, they can cause serious electrical damage, from lightning strikes to damaged service masts and power surges. If something doesn't seem right after a storm, don't ignore it. Go, that light won't go on. Don't ignore it. Affordable Electric provides safe, code-compliant storm damage repairs across the Twin Cities. 612-331-VOLT. 612-331-VOLT or affordable-electric.com. And remember, Affordable Electric is shockingly affordable. I got to admit, Tenneby, I didn't really look very closely today at any Vikings news because I'm preoccupied. Unless you saw something out there.
Well, it's just day 2 of camp yesterday, so you're getting basically the play-by-play, the blow-by-blow of...
Yes. And we talked a little bit about that.
The results from both quarterbacks were mixed again.
Yes. Again today.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Yeah, well, we talked about that yesterday, that we had mixed results. You mean, that would be the second day they were mixed results, just like the first day. But what I did see, and let me find that, what did I do with that? A listener sent a text, an email that raised some interesting issues, and I had it. I'm just so... of issues. Here it is. It was hiding underneath that. It says, so this email, I get to use the email sounder. I haven't used that in a while. Comment. I keep hearing reports that McCarthy looks sharper than Murray in training camp. I bet KOC is getting worried. If Murray starts and struggles, KOC will be blamed for giving up on McCarthy too soon and not being patient like other teams with their young QBs. If he starts McCarthy, he'll be blasted for signing Murray and not getting him prepared in camp and playing him. It may very well be that both QBs play during the season. They are pros, and there is no reason why that can't be done. KOC can then pick who plays in the postseason if they make it that far. Signed CJ. I don't know if I agree with all of that or any of that. The Murray thing, I don't think anybody would blast him because they got him on the cheap. I mean, that was basically rock bottom. I mean, it's a lot of money for in the real world, 1.2 or whatever it was they have to pay him. But for the Vikings, it's like it's nothing. It's pocket change. So you had trouble with McCarthy. We all saw it. McCarthy really struggled. And so it's difficult to go into a season going, you know what, we're going to keep with McCarthy and Carson Wentz. The fan base isn't going to be real excited about that. And you don't know, deep down, we don't know what each player on the roster thinks about all these things, right? They'll all say, publicly they'll say the right things, how we believe in both guys with integration. There might be guys in there that are going, I don't ever want to have McCarthy go out there again. And there might be guys in the other extreme that says, this kid's he's got the moxie. He's got the talent. He's going to be somebody someday. We got to stay patient. And all the opinions in between. And then really the most important opinions really are the Wilfs, right? Zygmunt and Sir Mark, how do they feel? And so, and you want to win ball games, and so you go with the quarterback that gives you the best chance. The head coach has stated unequivocally, under no uncertain terms, that it is a true competition. Many of us have sort of rolled our eyes, shrugged our shoulders, and shook our heads regarding that. Come on, you're starting Murray. Maybe there really is a true competition. And if it is, let the best man win. A peek at the purple brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric for all of your electrical needs. Affordable-electric.com. Twins certainly are buyers. Dramatic win last night. Historic win. Record-breaking win. What happened yesterday, I think, has only happened like a couple, 13, 14 times in Major League Baseball. We'll explain that, talk Twins and other topics as well, including the purple, as we get ready for Little B. Feminine Touch of the program, 1 to 1:30. And then Program Password, B and I will be joined, as always, by Teneby. He hosts the Program Password. We'll be joined by Ryan Carter and Jonas Plum, both of the Minnesota Timberwolves organization. All that Wild. Wild. All that and so much more coming up on the Common Man program on the Fan.
The Common Man.